Hello and welcome to the PTG GT Championship. Lots of GTs. Tongue twister. Yeah. Now this is a recorded highlights with me voicing over. Hopefully future episodes will just be the full race with me talking over it live. Unfortunately, I was a bit ill and seriously croaky of the voice when this race was being run, so I just recorded it. Yeah, subi. Either way, we get to have fun with approximately 20 minutes of highlights. Grid being displayed for you here. PTG Brains on pole with a wonderful lap in that M3. His teammate Omerta second on the grid. Very nice indeed, with Takumi in the Z4 taking third. Lamborghini of PTG Muri in fourth. Should be very interesting as that car has a lot of top end. Not so much around the corners, but a lot of top end. We're looking forward to this. Let's get on with the race. And we are ready for action. Go! Looks like a fairly good start from the M3s, possibly a better one from Omerta, and an even better start from the Lamborghini. Muri sandwiching himself between the two. I think he's managed to pull ahead of both of them. He has indeed. Brains, not the greatest start in the end, dropping from first to third. That Lamborghini was brutal off the launch. Currently we've got the two Z4s running in 4th and 5th of Takumi and Birchie. Great Kabuki, it looks like, in 6th in the Porsche. There he is. The Ford GT currently running in 7th. With Coops already having made his way past Ducky, going from 8th into 9th. Very hard in the first couple of laps to try and watch every battle. Somebody's gone very wide, don't know who that was, but they definitely lost a couple of positions. Way further back in the field. Looks like the front of the order is starting to settle down a little bit. I say a little bit. It seems somehow I've missed Brains passing Omerta, so not that settled at all. So as we head on to lap 2, it looks like Kabuki, I think that was the Porsche in the gravel, it certainly was. That'll drop him way down the order. So we follow Ducky, chasing Coops and Stoozy. Looks like Coops has managed to get past, going down the straight. That Ford GT isn't particularly quick in a straight line. It is very good in the corners. Moving forward. Looks like Omerta is now starting to hold up a little bit of a train with Takumi and Birchie all over the back end of him. Oh. Looks like Takumi got a little wide there. No, that should be fine. Their teammates, shouldn't be too much going on. I say that, I've just flipped the cameras and Birchie makes an overtake. That's just typical. That's just typical. But notice Brains is all over the back end of Muri. Shouldn't be too long till he makes that move. But there we go. There's confirmation of Birchie now in 4th place. Ahead of Takumi with, that looks like Coops moving in on the background. It certainly is. Meanwhile, Ducky seems to have dropped further back. He's now running in 10th place. Coming up behind Viking Heathen. Got the inside going into turn 4. Doesn't make the move stick though. Maybe he can going into this hairpin. No, not quite. Not quite. Close though. Very close back here. All over the back end of that car. Oh! And it looks like Fox has had an issue and Ducky, in order to avoid him, seems to have collected a bit of a wall. That seems to be a Warlock on the inside now going past as well. Maybe not, he's still got some straight line speed. But he's got some serious damage to that front end. So I think it's only going to be a matter of time before Warlock gets through. Meanwhile, back to the front of the field, Brains has caught right up with Muri. And it looks like, unless my eyes deceive me, the two Z4s have managed to pass Murta. Not sure when that happened. Meanwhile, we'll keep an eye on this battle at the front. Look at the speed that Lamborghini has. Get this thing on a straight line and that thing is nearly untouchable. I say nearly. I'm not sure what's going to get close to it, but in the corners, the BMW just pulls and pulls and pulls on it. So, a little further back down the field, Coops is now running 5th, Stuzy in 6th. Where's Murta? According to the ticker at the top, Murta's dropped down to 11th place. I wonder what's happened. Hopping back to see Warlock and Murta. Doesn't appear to be any damage to that BMW behind. So a mistake somewhere. Or maybe a very early pit stop. I'm assuming just a mistake, to be honest. But yeah, dropped all the way back down to 11th. Goes our front row man. Meanwhile, the battle between Coops and Stuzy B continues. As I said, that 4GT very good in the corners. Struggles a bit on the straights, so it is going to find it very hard to overtake. It's going to be one of those cars where, unfortunately as well with its small fuel tank compared to some of the others, it's going to have to work well between the pit cycles. You know, back at the front, getting his nose inside Muri, but drifting it out of turn 2. Not helpful. Yeah, was in a really good position as well then to attack the Lamborghini. Unfortunately, that opportunity seems to have faded for now. Or maybe it hasn't. Very quick through this section. If anything, it looks like they're holding each other up because Birchie seems to be closing behind. Maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part. Meanwhile, back with Coops and Stuzy. They've both caught up with Takumi, so they're obviously not battling too hard. Making some good ground on the Z4. It's all a matter of how and when they actually catch him as to whether they can make that pass, or if Takumi's made a mistake coming out of the chicane like that. Coops hangs it round the outside. Heading onto the start-finish straight. Who has the better top end? The newer or the older BMW? Unfortunately, it's definitely not the Ford, dropping off the back slightly for this fight. It looks like the Z4 takes it. Running it a little deep there, but keeping the position. I think we'll be returning to this front battle a lot because these two are absolutely locked together, at least until Brains makes his way past. Oh, which isn't going to be anytime soon. He's got on that curb at turn 6, I think it is. Properly dumped it. That curb is lethal. This time it catches Brains. Luckily, no damage, but that set him quite a way back. Still in 3rd place though, which just shows the gap those first 3 have opened up. But now we have Birchie running in 2nd, and as I said, he's not that far back now. Really isn't. It's been closing in nicely. So jumping forward, lap 14, Brains was catching with Birchie anyway, but that little tangle with the back marker is definitely going to give the position to Brains. Now on the straight, it looked like these two cars were very evenly matched. It looks like Brains may have got a slightly better run off the corner. But Birchie has the draft. Can he make a move? thinks about it, decides discretion's the better part of valour in this case. First to blink of the leaders for the pit stops, that will be PTG Brains. Stopping possibly a little early. This is the end of lap 15. So possibly 2 stop, possibly 1 stop. I'm not sure how much fuel he had left, to be honest. Meantime, next lap round, in comes Muri. End of lap 16. Got a 17 lap stint to the end. Again, just the wrong side of the halfway mark. But, having said that, these guys know their fuel levels. They know how long their cars can run. I think he's going for a 1 stop. Bergie is definitely going for a 1 stop as he goes round for another lap, taking the lead. He's going to want to get a good lap though, and with that kind of tyre wear, it's going to be tricky. But he's going to need to keep it clean and keep it fast, and you might just be able to latch onto the back of Muri as he comes out. Meantime, PTG Coops also taking it to the end of lap 17. Extra dairy with the fuel, as I've just noticed, it's just ticked to 0% as he goes round the corner into the pit lane. Oh man, now that's what you call cutting it a bit close, but that will mean he should be able to do it on 1 pit stop. As Muri comes past, does come out in front of... Ooh, that was just a quick glimpse then of Bergie as he came out. So, battle rejoined there. Not sure where Brains is. I thought Brains would have been in between the pair of them. In the meantime, they're both still running second and third because Viking Heathen has yet to pit in that Viper. Going a lot further into the race. Meantime, we check in just in time to see somebody spinning off into the gravel with Omerta and I believe that's Pid. In the excellent looking black Porsche, battling for the top 10. Meantime, Brains is now back onto the rear end of Bergie. Doesn't look like any back markers to get in the way this time, so this should be a good fight. Brains currently has the fastest lap of the race, according to the ticker a few moments ago, so it's definitely got the speed. Can he get through? Lined himself up the inside of the chicane to get a good exit, but took it too tight. Seems to have clipped the tyre wall. Lost a chunk of ground there. It's going to take him a little while to make that up, even if he does have a half second a lap. Meantime, it seems off camera, Muri's made a bit of an error. I've dramatically come to the front, and look at this. We now have all 3 cars nose to tail for the first 3 spots. And we're just over halfway through. In fact, we're about 2/3 of the race down. Now, this Lamborghini is notoriously quick on the straight. It's finding this section really hard to stick with the Z4 though. And I think Brains is fed up of seeing the back of that Lamborghini. But we'll see just how quick. Can he get past the Z4 coming out of here? That seems quite a large gap. He's definitely leaving Brains behind. Brains just sticking in the slipstream best he can. And the Lambo gets up to the Z4. Made up that gap. Bridged it. But it's got to quickly go out again around this section of the track. Because the Z4 just has that little more grip than the Lamborghini does. And yeah, I'm not sure what happened here. No one had a clue. Everyone's blaming each other in this particular incident, but it's Fox and Omerta face to face as the leaders pass. Both quite damaged, quite heavily. Meantime, lap 24. Maybe lap 25. Lamborghini of Muri is pulling on the Z4. He's got alongside Bergie, but he's on the outside of the corner. He tries to make the move anyway, and indeed makes it stick. Nicely done. And somehow off camera we missed Brains getting past Birchie as well. When I was checking on other races. It's always the way when you're recording things live, watching things live. You're trying to keep track of so much. But unfortunately we missed Birchie getting overtaken. Oh, a bit of contact between Birchie and Brains. That's given Muri a excellent jump. Just when they didn't really need to be doing that. Checking back down the field, we've got Viking Heathen and PTG Ducky. They seem to be having a nice battle, and in fact, I think we get to see plenty of this battle as the race goes on. Currently not able to make any moves, but certainly going to be one for interest later. In the meantime, we have Warlock and Stoozy B. Why is it I always get to these battles when they're already kind of halfway done? Such is life. But yes, Warlock and Stoozy chasing hard. Warlock actually making the move stick by the looks of it, but that's a very grippy car as well, so they're going to be very evenly matched around here. Stoozy having a look. Oh, a bit of contact. Nothing too much. Just getting a little look in. But Warlock still holding the inside into this hairpin. Stoozy hanging it around the outside though. Oh, another little contact. Race continues. Meanwhile, back at the front, Brains has bridged that gap already to Muri. Race on. He has been looking at the back of that Lamborghini for pretty much 90% of this race. He'll be aching to get past. Aching to get past. He knows he's faster. When he's had that bit of clean air, he's... Oh! And, quickly checking down the field. Something's happened to Warlock. Something pretty major. Unfortunately, didn't get to see it at the time. Real shame. Meanwhile, just ahead of him was still Ducky and Viking going at it. I believe they swapped places. Maybe they haven't. I can't remember what order they were running in. Lap 29. Leaders still at it. But it's looking like the Lamborghini is starting to struggle on its tyres. Luckily, it doesn't need tyres for this bit of the track as it pulls away again. Just checking on the battle between Viking and Ducky. Actually, it looks like Viking is now stretching away, which is good for him. I feel like this is a distinct case of deja vu. Brains all over the back of Muri, and then this happens. It just drives away again. Oh man. Birchie's got a great view of this, mind. Not quite as good as the view we got, but this time the BMW is really close coming off of this into the corners. Trying round the outside. That's a bit of desperation, I think. You're not going to get round there, but it does mean the cutback could be on offer if he's managed to get good throttle. Meantime, we've got a couple people in the pits. That is Takumi doing a splash and dash at the end. Could that be a bad sign for Birchie? Because their teammates, that car should have the same kind of range. Unless, of course, Takumi just pitted a bit too early. Meantime, we're following Brains heading into the chicane. Still tight to the rear of that car. Heading on to the start and finish straight. Real close battle, real close. And Brains has just pulled off the track. He'd run out of fuel. Instead of pitting, he just ran out of fuel. He had such a big lead as well. He could have pitted and easily got a top 3 position. They had such a big lead. In the meantime, Birchie is now chasing on. we'll have a quick look at some of the others. We got Stuzy in 4th. And we got Coops running in 3rd. We've got Takumi now running in 5th. He's got no problems with fuel. Ducky has made it past Viking Heathen. Now definitely the closest battle on the track. Very close. I think Viking getting suckered into going deep along with Ducky then. Got the inside. Oh, bit of contact. Forced to drop back. Not very far though. This is going to be an interesting climax of the race for them. Look at this. That Lamborghini again on the straight though. So fast. Viper's going to need to catch him in the corners because he's not going to stand much of a chance anywhere else. Meantime, seems Muri's made a mistake off camera and is now down in 2nd with Birchie just trying to get down the inside. And people weaving over everywhere. Not sure what happened there. That was just behind a wall. But last lap. And he loses and retakes the lead, does Muri. Is there time though? Is there time for Birchie to have another move? Because he is close. And obviously the tyres on that Lambo are going. Gets very close on the inside of the hairpin. This section, BMW should be much better. But if he gets out of the chicane and he's still in front, I think it's going to be over. So can Birchie make the move? This is where he's got to do it. Can't get in there. Very good out the chicane though. Can he get to the inside? Because if he can get there... No chance unfortunately going. Now we're on the straight. The Lamborghini is just going to make it to the line and take the win. Excellent race there. So, full finishing order here. I would love to have brought the rest of the cars across the line, but as you can see, I got hit with a very interesting bug pretty much as soon as they'd finished. Where, all the cars are invisible. Yeah. As you can see, looks fantastic. But, Alright, there's the finishing order. Here we have the point standings. Looking forward to round 2. See you then.